You just took your insulin. A little while later, you start feeling shaky. Your heart races, maybe you feel a bit confused, or suddenly very hungry. This feeling can be scary. It is a common experience for many people learning about insulin. We are going to make this topic clear and practical. By the end of this video, you will know practical outcomes. You will understand why insulin is part of your care. You will know how to avoid those scary low blood sugar moments. There is one detail most people miss, and we will get to that in a minute. Welcome back to Pharmacist Online. Quick note, this is general education, not personal advice, so always talk with the right professional about what is best for your situation. Let us start with insulin itself. What exactly is insulin doing inside you? Insulin is a hormone your body makes. It acts like a key. This key helps sugar, also called glucose, move from your blood into your cells. Your cells then use this sugar for energy. Without enough insulin, sugar stays in your bloodstream. This can cause health problems over time. For some people, like those with type 1 diabetes, their body stops making insulin entirely. They need to take insulin every day to live. For others, like many with type 2 diabetes, their body either does not make enough insulin or does not use the insulin it makes very well. This is called insulin resistance. Over time, the pancreas, which makes insulin, can get tired. It might not be able to keep up with the body's needs. So, when your doctor says it is time to start insulin, it is not a sign of failure. It is a natural progression of the condition. It means your body needs extra help. It is a tool to help you stay healthy. This is an important distinction to remember. Adding insulin helps your body manage blood sugar better. It can prevent long-term problems. Now, quick reset and more like this. Insulin comes in different types. They work at different speeds and for different lengths of time. Here is the key. We generally talk about two main kinds of insulin. These are basal insulin and mealtime insulin. Basal insulin is sometimes called background insulin. It is a long-acting insulin. Think of it as a steady, low level of insulin that works throughout the day and night. It helps keep your blood sugar stable between meals and while you sleep. Common examples include insulin glargine, which you might know as Lantus or Tujo. Another one is insulin detamere, known as Levemir. These are usually taken once or twice a day. They provide a constant supply of insulin. Mealtime insulin, also called bolus insulin, is different. This is a rapid-acting or short-acting insulin. You take it right before or with your meals. It is designed to cover the rise in blood sugar that happens after you eat. These insulins work quickly. They help move the sugar from your food into your cells. You might know these as Novolog, Humalog, Apidra, or Fiasp. They are taken as needed, based on what you are eating. So what should you do with that? It is important to know which type of insulin you are taking. Also know when and how to take it. Your healthcare team will guide you on the specific timing and dosage. One of the most common concerns with insulin is low blood sugar. This is called hypoglycemia. It can happen if you take too much insulin. It can also happen if you do not eat enough after taking your mealtime insulin. In real life, it often looks like this. You take your rapid-acting insulin. Then something distracts you. You forget to eat your meal. Or maybe your meal was smaller than you planned. This is a classic setup for a low blood sugar episode. Another common mistake is exercising more than usual. Physical activity can make your body more sensitive to insulin. It uses sugar more quickly. If you do not adjust your insulin dose or eat extra carbohydrates before or after exercise, your blood sugar can drop too low. Taking insulin at the wrong time can also cause problems. For example, taking rapid-acting insulin too early before a meal, or taking it too late. Both can affect how well it matches your food intake. This is why timing is so important. So how do you know if your blood sugar is getting too low? Your body usually gives you warning signs. These are important to recognize. Symptoms of low blood sugar can include shakiness. You might feel sweaty or clammy. You could feel very hungry. Some people feel dizzy or lightheaded. You might also notice a fast heartbeat. Sometimes you can feel confused or irritable. In severe cases, you might even pass out. If you suspect your blood sugar is low, the first thing to do is check it. Use your blood glucose meter. If your blood sugar is below 70 milligrams per deciliter or milligram per deciliter, you need to act quickly. This is where the rule of 15 inches comes in handy. Here is how it works. Eat 15 grams of fast-acting carbohydrates. This could be 3 or 4 glucose tablets. It could be 4 ounces of fruit juice, or half a can of regular soda. Do not use diet soda. It has no sugar. Hard candies, like about 5 or 6 pieces, can also work. After you eat the 15 grams of carbs, wait 15 minutes. Then, recheck your blood sugar. If it is still below 70 milligrams per deciliter, repeat the process. Eat another 15 grams of fast-acting carbs. Wait another 15 minutes. Check again. Keep doing this until your blood sugar is back above 70 milligrams per deciliter. Once your blood sugar is stable, and if your next meal is more than an hour away, have a small snack. This snack should include both carbohydrates and protein. An example would be some crackers and peanut butter. This helps keep your blood sugar from dropping again. If this kind of breakdown helps, you can subscribe for more. Managing your blood sugar means understanding patterns. What should you track? It is helpful to track both your fasting blood sugar and your after-meal blood sugar. Your fasting blood sugar is the reading you take first thing in the morning. This is before you eat or drink anything other than water. This number gives you an idea of how well your basal insulin is working. If your fasting numbers are consistently high, your basal insulin dose might need adjusting. If they are consistently low, it might also need adjusting. Your after-meal blood sugar readings are also very important. You typically check these 1 to 2 hours after starting a meal. These numbers show how well your mealtime insulin is working. They also show how well your body handled the carbohydrates you ate. If your after-meal numbers are too high, your mealtime insulin dose might be too low for that meal. Or maybe you miscounted your carbohydrates. If they are too low, you might have taken too much mealtime insulin, or you ate fewer carbs than you thought. Your doctor also looks at something called your A1C. That stands for your average blood sugar over the past 2 to 3 months. This gives a broader picture of your blood sugar control. It is a great way to see overall trends. Consistent tracking helps you and your healthcare team make informed decisions. It helps them adjust your insulin doses. Now, quick reset and more like this. What about storing insulin and giving yourself a shot? Proper storage of insulin is crucial. It keeps the medicine effective. Unopened insulin vials or pens should be stored in the refrigerator. The temperature should be between 36 and 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Never freeze insulin. If it freezes, it is no longer effective and should be thrown away. Once you open an insulin vial or pen, it can usually be stored at room temperature. This is between 59 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit. This makes it more comfortable to inject. However, it has a limited shelf life once opened. This is usually 28 to 56 days, depending on the specific product. Always check the package insert for exact storage times for your insulin. After this time, even if there is still insulin left, you should discard it. This is important for safety and effectiveness. When it comes to injecting insulin, there are a few key things to remember. You will need to choose an injection site. Common sites include your abdomen, thighs, and the back of your upper arms. It is important to rotate your injection sites. Do not inject in the exact same spot every time. This helps prevent problems like lumps or hardened skin. These can affect how well your body absorbs the insulin. Before injecting, wash your hands thoroughly. Clean the injection site with an alcohol swab. Let it air dry. This helps prevent infection. You will pinch up a fold of skin. Then insert the needle straight in or at a slight angle, as instructed by your healthcare provider. Push the plunger all the way down. Count to 5 or 10 before pulling the needle out. This ensures all the insulin is delivered. After injecting, do not recap the needle. Instead, immediately place the used needle into a sharps container. This is a special puncture-resistant container. You can get these at pharmacies. Or you can use a heavy-duty plastic container, like a laundry detergent bottle. Once the container is full, follow your local guidelines for safe disposal. Proper storage and technique keep insulin working well and injections safe. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, severe low blood sugar can happen. So what should you do with that? This is when your blood sugar drops dangerously low. It might be below 50 milligrams per deciliter. You might become very confused. You might be unable to eat or drink. In severe cases, you could lose consciousness. This is a medical emergency. If someone with diabetes experiences these severe symptoms, you need to act immediately. If they are conscious and able to swallow, try to give them fast-acting sugar. But if they are unconscious or unable to swallow, do not try to give them food or drink. This could cause choking. Instead, you need to use an emergency glucagon kit. Glucagon is a hormone that quickly raises blood sugar. Your doctor might prescribe one for you. Make sure your family or close friends know how to use it. They need to know where you keep it. After giving glucagon, call 911 or your local emergency services right away. Even if the person seems to recover, they should still be checked by medical professionals. This is very important. They can determine why the severe low happened. They can also prevent future episodes. Knowing when to seek urgent help can save a life. If you want more videos like this, you can subscribe and check the next one. There is one detail most people miss when starting insulin. It is about consistency. Many people focus on the big changes. They focus on the specific dose numbers. But the real key is consistency in your routine. Taking your insulin at roughly the same time each day, especially basal insulin, is vital. Eating consistent meals and snacks. Checking your blood sugar regularly. These small, consistent actions make a huge difference. They help your body get into a rhythm. This helps prevent unexpected highs and lows. It is often overlooked in the beginning, but it is incredibly powerful for managing your diabetes effectively. Managing insulin can seem like a lot at first, but remember, it is a powerful tool to help you stay healthy. Insulin helps your body use sugar for energy. There are two main types: basal for background and mealtime for food. Watch out for common mistakes that cause low blood sugar. Recognize the symptoms of hypoglycemia. Treat it quickly with the rule of 15. Track your blood sugar patterns to understand what is happening. Store your insulin correctly. Learn proper injection techniques. And always know when to seek urgent medical help for severe lows. Work closely with your healthcare team. They are there to support you every step of the way.